It was. Yeah. Yeah, that's the pool house. Yep. No, I'm in North Carolina actually. I'm here for the Series Writers Conference that we have every year. This year it's a little different. It's we're calling it the intensives, meaning they're only allowed 10 people per genre, and then we just really get into the nitty gritty with a lot of the craft stuff. And like every participant in my children's class sent a picture book and their or a board book, whichever they were working on, and their proposal. And then I've edited all of those, and then we're going to meet about those individually. But then we're also just going to talk about all the things that they want to talk. They actually designed the class coach. We got on a Zoom call, and I said, "This is for you. Whatever. What do you need to know? What do you want to know right now in your career?" And so, based on what their feedback was, that's what class that I designed, and I think that's exactly what Kyle did for fiction and Bethany did for nonfiction. So, it's a really very personal kind of one-on-one. 10 people you can really get to the nitty gritty of people's stories and stuff. So I'm excited. But tomorrow, the first day, is all about social media. Kyle's going to be teaching about it, and that's amazing.
So are you going to become a gamer?
That's probably. I told Kyle they were joking. I said the last games I played were Galaga and Pac-Man. So I'm probably not going to be able to talk about any gaming. But no, he's going to talk about. But really, like about how he's really in a year of just trying to do this, he'll probably reach 500,000. On his platform in just a month or so. So it's crazy what he's been able to do. And we were just talking about this, the three of us. A lot of people, if there are any naysayers, it's kind of like, well, how is God doing? How are you doing ministry right now with the Lord? Well, like he is able to do ministry with some of these kids who are gamers who would never go to a church.
Right.
It's kind of cool how God is opening up doors. Some of the private messages he gets, he's talked kids out of suicide and everything else. Like it's just amazing how God will use you wherever you are and plant you in places where nobody else is planted to be a vehicle for him. And it's really cool what God does. I love it. So we're going to learn how to grow our platforms even bigger tomorrow. And I'm excited to I'll be taking lots of notes.
It amazes me, Michelle, how resistant we as the church, the lowercase c, resist going to where the people are. Right. This is exactly what Jesus did, but no, we want them to come where we're at. Y'all come to our stained glass windows. We've got on our choir robes, and the organ is playing, and we've decided the ideal environment to encounter Christ. But that's not what Jesus did. So I rejoice, I celebrate that if you can use gaming or reaching out, text messaging, social media, other platforms. I hope that I will always be reserving any judgment I might feel. That we need to go to the edge. If we are if we're going to find the lost, but we shouldn't ask them to find us. Clear up this controversy, please.
Okay.
There is a book cover here.
Yes.
And there is no debate over the phrase "through the snow."
I know what this question is. So you want to know if you pronounce it dachshund or dashhound? Is that what you want to know?
I would just have to say dashhound because that would make more sense in the context of the entire phrase.
Yes. And I think that's probably why the title was a winner when I proposed it. Because dashhound through the snow, it sounds like dashing through the snow, which of course is a song and it's great. But of course, I've always called a dachshund, but many people do call them dashhounds. So
how do you get dachshund from that spelling? I mean,
well, it's German and I don't speak German, so I'm not going to definitely be able to tell you that. But yes, either or, we will take either or answer. Both are correct.
Well, Andy mentioned he was on our program the other night, and he mentioned not only his own book, but the book that you were doing. Now, I think he said that his book is releasing the same book yours is. Is that correct?
Well, we have the exact same book launch date, which is October the 12th.
You don't stand a chance.
Well, luckily we're not competing against each other because this is a novel. It's like a Hallmark kind of a movie and a book, and mine is a children's book. So because we're best friends, right? We're really good friends. Hang on. What we're going to do is we're going to join forces and promote each other's books. So we even made memes that have both his book and my book.
Really?
And then we talk about, isn't that great? And then we're like promoting each other's books. And while I'm here, because we're at Andy's church this week, I brought my leopard Santa hat, and we're going to do some promo videos and everything that we can start running during the book launch week. And so we're gonna help each other because that's what friends do.
Something else just dawned upon me, and I'm just going to have to make a change here because you're not wearing black.
I know. What is up with that? I know. I actually have on a black shirt under the jean jacket, but it's a workout shirt, so I thought it might not be appropriate, so I threw a jean jacket on.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That brings up a point. I know that you and your husband try to you have a personal trainer, you go to the gym,
yes.
But when you're on the road, it's a real challenge. So how do you manage that?
Is. I because I used to do some of this personal training stuff myself and did Zoom and all that. I know all the stuff to do. It's just actually making yourself do it, right? So
kidding.
That's it. But with COVID and stuff, many of the hotel gyms are actually closed. Mm-hmm. I didn't check out this one, and it's a small one, and it may actually be closed. I don't know. So there are some things that you can do just using your own body weight, like plyometrics kind of stuff. And you can, like you do every night, Coach, you do push-ups every night. Those are the kind of things you can do.
Right. That uses your own body weight. And the funny thing is I'm trying to do pull-ups, and I can only do 1.5. So you know how I'm going to address that? I need to lose 20 pounds. I figure if I lost 20 pounds, I could do more pull-ups. I have too much body resistance,
Pull-ups are tough. They are tough. We have to do those at the gym, and I have like a little box that I cheat on. He lets me cheat, but Jeff, those are hard for Jeff too. Those are tough. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to have any kind of gym equipment to do planks or to do push-ups or to do any kind of a sit-up. Those are all good. Lunges. All these are all things you can do in your hotel room. And the way this hotel room is organized, you've got the beds in one part. Then there's like a little kitchen area, and then there's a whole another area that has a couch. And so you could actually work out in a little couch area. There's plenty of room to do all the things we just talked about. And I actually have a Beachbody app. So I'm a member of Beachbody. You probably see those commercials. Everybody's got a Beachbody, beachbody.com. I don't get any money for that, but I am a member. So I can work out on any of those workouts anywhere I am, which is often what I do because I don't always feel comfortable going into a gym, especially like if it's in a bigger city and I'm by myself and just to go, or like now with COVID, you don't know if they're going to be open or if you should go in there even if they are open because you don't know who's been in there, if they cleaned it or whatever. So I think a safe way to do is just to work out in your own hotel room and do the things you know to do. And if you don't really know what to do, then join Beachbody or one of those. And there's also a whole lot of free stuff. You can go on YouTube and get lots of free workouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long will you be there in Carolina?
Let's see. 4 nights? Yeah.
You need to know when you leave, Michelle.
Yeah, you know what? I've been on a deadline, so I don't even know what day it is. I mean, it's true. Every day this week, I'd be like, what day is it? Just like, it's still Tuesday. It still is. Like, it's, okay. But that's been my life.
Did you drive or fly?
I flew this time. And what's so funny, this is how I get when I'm on crazy deadlines. I forget things. So I flew into Raleigh, Durham, right? And Kyle also flew in, and we tried to do our flights about the same time. So Andy only ended up going trip. And so we were texting each other, like, where are you? He flew Delta, I flew Southwest. And Andy's like, well, I'll pick up Michelle, and then I'll come pick up you. So we were texting back and forth. And I said, I don't know that I've ever been to this airport, so I don't know exactly where to meet you. And Andy texts back, you've been here. I picked you up here 4 times myself. It's like, I know you've been here. I'm like, oh, well, okay, maybe I just had a mini stroke or something because I don't remember any of that.
Well, from the inside, most airports
I did not remember this airport.
Most airports have a striking similarity from the inside.
Yeah.
So how much
That's
is
right.
how much
well, this
is a
one
cup
didn't
of
look,
coffee?
I didn't remember.
How much is a cup of coffee these days at the airport? $20?
I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. Well, you're no help. All right.
I'm no help at all.
Because they've got a captive audience. They kind of, but
this is true.
I was going to ask you the pool room garage. When we say pool room, that's where the pumps and all that gear is. Is that what you're using? That
it's actually no. It's behind that. is what we call the pool house / garage, because that's where our boat is. The boat is
There's where I
inside
was
there.
going. Right. Because
Yes.
and
And then,
how
yeah,
long's your boat?
it's it's long. I don't know. It's a long one. I don't know. I don't know how I should know this, but Coach, I don't know anything right now. I've been at since 4:30. I don't know these answers
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to presume. Let's see. Does it have 150 horsepower motor on it?
Yeah, or
Okay.
bigger. It's got a bigger one.
Okay. Then it's at
Yeah.
least 18 to 20 feet. That's the
Yeah, yeah.
boat, not counting how far the motor pokes out in the back, not
Right.
counting the tongue of the trailer. Oops, I cut my arm off. Look at that, folks. Ooh, I'm going to pull back a bloody nub. Okay. Most garages, the standard garage is 20 by 20. Okay, two-car garage. So boat owners oftentimes find their boat won't fit in the garage. So did you have to make any accommodations for the boat, or did it just fit?
Oh yeah. No, Jeff had this all planned out from the beginning. This was, in fact, before the house was ever really, they didn't really start working on the parts of the house that I thought was like really important. Like my master bedroom still isn't done, that kind of stuff. But that garage, that was like his thing. So
Of course. Yeah.
he designed that whole deal. It's got a great little workshop area down in the bottom part next to the boat, and then upstairs is going to be all for storage, or we could actually make it into another room if we want to, like a bonus room. But I'd seen in a magazine, I really liked it, and then a friend of mine out in Texas has a house similar to this, but the front of it is like where I have a swing and a place to grill, and like we're gonna have a little kitchen sink and all that. So if we grill out, we don't have to run in the house with all the wet bathing suits and stuff. Everything can be done right there. That's what I wanted, and we don't really need to put a bathroom in there because there's one like right off of the garage.
Well,
So
I won't say what came to mind. I won't
yeah,
say it. Who does the grilling?
Jeff, he's a really great griller, and we just got a smoker. We'd never had one of those before. So one of our housewarming gifts from one of our oldest and dearest friends, Angie and Darren McCullough, got us a smoker. Now it is
it a pit
serious.
boss? Is it a pit boss?
It is ginormous. I don't know what it is because it's I don't even know. But Jeff is so excited about it. He's been reading manuals on it, and
It's probably a pit boss. Yeah. Do you have to
last
pour
night he was
these
looking up
pellets in the?
recipes.
Yeah. Do you pour
I,
pellets in? Oh, anyway.
I don't know, but it came with like lots of spices and it's special set of utensils. I mean, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
serious. Yeah. So he
Oh,
he was he was on Pinterest last night. I'm like, what are you doing on Pinterest? He goes, I'm looking up recipes. And again, I'm like, and why would that be? Because that is not the normal activity for Jeff. Usually he's looking at boats and fish and stuff at night. And he said, well, I'm looking at things I can cook on the smoker. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That means I have to cook less. So thumbs up on that.
And well, yeah, I don't mind cooking. I just don't like cleaning up. You know,
I don't mind the cleanup, but I'm not a very good cook. So
well, I hope that you'll ask Jeff. Is it a pit boss or a derivative thereof? That's a special. What I like, my wife got me one. What I like about them is there's almost zero maintenance. No cleanup. It burns clean. There's no ashes, coals.
oh, nice.
All
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It literally cleans itself, and you have to maintain it, once a year just to get, the fat, stuff.
Sure.
Oh, let Jeff know the wire brushes, the wire brush you clean the grate with. If you'll go to a car parts store and get what they call brake cleaner, it's in a spray can, but when you press that button, it comes out of there. But that's what I use to clean that, because you can't clean a wire brush. Think about it.
Oh, okay.
You can't.
Yeah.
And I just in a zero residue, and it'll cut through grease. It will. I mean,
I'll have to tell him that. Yeah.
yeah, just
Thanks
be
for that tip.
outside where it can drip somewhere, not on your nice new, floor type thing.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Great. Okay, so
So
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say I know we don't have a lot of time, but I was just going to mention, I was trying to think what would be good to talk about tonight, and what would be something that would benefit all of us. I think one of the things that I've been meditating on a lot recently is just to be a constant learner. And Coach, you're somebody that does this. You don't just settle where you are. You're always. I mean, you were taking animation courses after we would finish doing these at night till 1 and 2 in the morning while you were still working. I mean, that's just who you are. You're programmed to continue to learn and get better. And status quo is never good enough. And I think that's the coach in you.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. And Kyle's that way. And Bethany's that way. And I think the people that are actually coming to these intensives are like that. I think it's a good thing for us not to get too relaxed in where we're at, but to always press forward for more excellence and to see how we can get better at whatever it is we're doing, whether it be writing or animation or in our jobs, whatever it is. And also what spills over into our relationships. We were just having a conversation about a book project that Kyle's involved in, and Beth and I we were just talking through. That's what we always do. We brainstorm together, and we were talking about relationships. And I said, it's one of my good friends who is a minister said that she's always been very conscientious and very studious about her mate. Like she loves him, and she said, I wanted to make sure that I would be the best helpmate to him. So I study him. I know what his likes are. I know what his dislikes are. I know what he needs and when he needs it. She's like, I've made that my goal is to be that kind of a partner for him. And in return, he's the same for me. And that's our marriage is then not just good, but it's great. And it's always getting better because we're continuing to learn new things about each other, even after being married 30 years. And Jeff and I just hit the 30-year mark. And I thought that's just so brilliant. So that same principle of never just being satisfied with status quo, with our relationship with our mates or with our family, in our work, whatever that calling is, and also in our relationship with God. Just status quo is never enough. We should always want more of God and more time with him and to know his word more and to be able to let that operate in our lives at a greater level, to be able to reach more people for him. Just not to rest on our laurels, I think is the expression I was trying to think of earlier, but just to continue to press in for more. And that's what I think this week is about. It's about pressing in to the calling that God has and wanting more and wanting to be able to be used more of him.
Powerful message, Michelle. Now let me preach a moment because you have.
All right.
I am so glad you brought this up. You are an achiever, okay, and a lot of the people that work with us here at pjnet.tv that we have on our programs, they have this drive, to meet the deadlines, and they stay up all hours, and they work and they work. But even if you're not doing that, people focus on achievement in the workplace, and they go to classes to learn more about their profession, to stay up to date on the latest, this, that, or the other, because they want to achieve, they want to be the best, and that's good. That's a great thing. But here's my question. Why do we not apply that same principle to our marriage? We just think, literally, and this is reinforced in our culture. Kids grow up, you're a teenager or young in your early 20s, they just throw you together and somehow, poof, some, twinkleberry dust comes over you and everybody lives happily ever after. That's nonsense. But there is a desperate need for what the person you mentioned is studying on how to be a better spouse. Because here's the principle that is, I think, is missing. You can't make your spouse better, but you can be a better spouse.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's exactly right. So, Michelle, with all of your achievements, that we are just rejoice and we're proud and we know you're a hard worker. There have been times when I see that little green dot on Facebook at 2 a.m. and it's,
Yes.
But thanks for sharing, because if I've known coaches, Michelle, and it's tragic in a way, that it's hard to be a coach. I mean, it's hard to be married to a coach. It takes 100% commitment. The problem is marriage takes 100% commitment.
Right.
So do the math. You can't.
It's not enough for you to go around. Yeah.
I have seen coaches that were celebrated as successful because they had perfect seasons, went to the state champion, you name it, got all the accolades. But if in doing so, you have lost your faith or your family, I don't care how many games you win, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing more thrilling than victory on a football field, yeah, there is. But anyway, the problem is the shelf life of that victory is very short. The shelf life of a healthy, strong relationship with your spouse can be an empowering factor to propel you to heights you never thought possible. I don't know a man, Michelle, that would not slay dragons for the affection of his wife.
Amen.
I literally
That's right.
don't. I literally
And
don't.
that's how God designed it. And the thing about I've seen it in not just with coaches, but even with ministers. You know, they're all about the ministry and about serving others, and they're doing so much in the community, but their marriage breaks up because of the same reason we just talked about. And it is hard, and the devil is after our families. He is. The enemy is wants to split the families up, and so we have to stand for our marriages. We have to stand for our families, and we need to set a good example for those who are coming after us. And it's not easy. I mean, Jeff and I married 30 years. We dated many years before that, and I can honestly tell you, I love him more today than I ever have. But they haven't always been butterflies and bluebirds. I mean, we've had to work at some things, and he will tell you the same thing. But you grow together and you learn together, and but that's the thing, is it's just never to get satisfied. Is when you get satisfied and they're just, like, that's not it. You have to continue to push and grow together, and then growing together in the Lord. That's the real foundation. That's when you really set it in stone. When you're, we share not just our likes and our dislikes, and we love to fish together, and we like to go to the movies, and we just like to be together. We have fun just doing nothing because we just like each other. We always have. But then to share those things about the Lord, to have our devotions together, to pray together, to see our dreams accomplished together with the Lord. Like this house, the pool house you're talking about, that's something that we were together in the pool the other night, and Jeff just had big tears in his eyes. He's like, "Can you believe God did this?" Because you know the story. 8 years ago, when we first saw this house and that needed to be renovated, it looked like it needed to be pretty much bulldozed. But we just felt like that was the house God had for us, and we kept trying to buy it, and the guy wouldn't sell it. But when it finally happened, and it was the right time, and it was God's timing, and now we're in it. Like, it's just a testimony to God. Like, and Jeff and I love it because we have all these scriptures we stood on, and the prayers, and I've journaled about it. Like, we documented this thing we believe God for together, and now we're getting to enjoy it. We like that. That is so wonderful to be able to have those memories with your spouse, and to be able to have a testimony about whatever it is that you're going through. So I know those who aren't married are probably like, whatever, I don't get that, but God has someone for you, even if it wasn't the first one that you were with, or whatever situation is. That God has a plan, and man, it's worth seeking Him to find out who the one is that you're supposed to be with, because it's not always the one you think it is. You want to make sure that it's the one God has for you, because man, I've seen too many of my friends settle for the wrong person, and then down the road they realize it and it's too late, and they end in divorce, and it's a big hot mess. So I'm grateful for Jeff tonight. I can tell you that. Well, I miss him when I'm gone.
Well, we are grateful for you, because you mentioned you've been up quite a while today, and you've got a long day tomorrow. Michelle, yes. Thanks for taking time out and sharing with us, and thank you for that message for spouses or potential spouses, whichever you may be. Folks, you can't get too much learning and effort and improvement in our relationships. Amen. And may they be glorifying to God. Thank you, girl. Go get them. Tell everybody hello for the PJ Net family tomorrow when you see them.
Tell everybody in the chat room, hey.
Okay, we appreciate it, girl. Okay. Bye. All right. Well, that was Michelle Medlock Adams. And there seems to be some problems, technical problems here in our studio. They're not serious, but thank you for your patience as we work not only through them, but in spite of them. And, you just press on regardless. Folks, I am truly excited about so many things, but we've run kind of late tonight, so I'll save that for later. You're always welcome to contact me after hours. I'm going to be up very late tonight working on those exciting things. Before I leave, though, I leave you with a challenge in the form of 2 questions. You've heard them before, probably. What is the boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ? And how long ago was that? Let's not ever be satisfied with either answer.